Yes, sir, Ski YouTube. It's your boy Black Uchiha 3 Long Face Skinny Body, and we are back with another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex manga video discussion. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button. We got some Boruto greatness to talk about today. In particular, probably one of the most popular theories surrounding this guy Boruto's character, and that is definitely his special eye, his Dojutsu. So whether you refer to it as the Byakugan or the Jogan, we're here to talk about really the ins and outs about what's really going down with this guy's eye. With the revelation in 2 Blue Vortex chapter 29, we see Boruto is finally, for the first time in forever, activated his Byakugan on command and actively use it within the battlefield. And we see he's able to peer through walls and able to pinpoint Mamushi's location and utilize his other means in order to get their stats. So we know for the most part, like aside from a slight few exceptions, right, how far the Byakugan's usage can go. You know, we've seen some impressive feats from Hinata in terms of how far she's able to see through things, but some of the most impressive ones would be like Momoshiki and Ishiki, where we understood that Kawaki, upon needing to stay out of the grasp in the vicinity of this guy Ishiki, they had to get this guy to a secret bunker, and this guy Ishiki pulled up and he was still able to damn near survey and view the entirety of the village and figured out they were hiding somewhere, Kawaki somewhere in particular, where his Byakugan wouldn't be able to reach. So long story short, the natural base powers of the Byakugan of Otsutsuki tends to be very much stronger than your regular Byakugan. Now, why am I calling it just simply Boruto's special eye? Because whether it's the Byakugan or the Jogan, we know that something particular and peculiar is going on with Boruto's right eye, right? Especially with our latest refresher from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Kishimoto, in the 2024 interview, where they refer to Boruto's eye as his special eye and its importance, you know, laying dormant for a while for the time being, but it's something that will play a key role in the future of the story. So as far as what we know so far about the eye, it's really not that much. If we're gonna speak very ambiguous about it, basically not referring to it as specifically a Byakugan or even specifically a Jogan, we know for a fact Boruto, as of chapter 29 in 2 Blue Vortex, is utilizing Momoshiki's power. Momoshiki specifically told Boruto, use karma or whatever else you like. And of course, Ikimoto, understanding the reaches and the theories that his fandom tend to go for in his chapters, we know we were going to focus on that whatever else you would like part in that statement. And we see, aside from the karma, the usage that Boruto uses through his Otsutsuki power via Momoshiki is that Byakugan. Now we understand for the most part, Boruto himself doesn't have a Byakugan. Granted, initially in the anime, earlier on when he first awakened his Jogan, he believed it to be the Byakugan, and in the novels alike, understanding Toneri was the one who tampered with essentially the initial awakening of his eye. It never was supposed to awaken that soon. Boruto was never supposed to be aware about it. However, we understand how things eventually played out. So for the most part, Boruto himself does not have a Byakugan, and we understand this is the utilization of not only Momoshiki's karma, but also Momoshiki's Byakugan stacked on top of the natural Otsutsuki powers that Boruto has, his basic flight and his natural Otsutsuki body chakra reserves, on top of the already gruesome 3 years of training that he tend to hone and master all of the styles of jutsus that we've seen time skip Boruto master. So I'm confident in to say not just that Boruto doesn't have the Byakugan, because we understand the trickiness, I guess you can say, the complexities around his eye in general, but looking at the other vessels of the karma, right? Jigen, Kawaki, Code, despite being a failed version, right? None of these figures, none of these vessels, quote unquote characters, have ever showed any signs or implications of awakening Byakugan, despite it being the base jutsu of the Otsutsuki. So this isn't necessarily me staking my stance as, yo, I think Boruto has the Jogan over the Byakugan. This is more so just me presenting the facts that we've seen throughout the story. I believe in the manga, every instance we've seen Boruto use his eye or open his eye, whether it be Momoshiki or Boruto himself, aside from chapter 1 of the manga, it has always been the Byakugan. Now, regardless of what name you want to canonize Boruto's eye to, you have to accept the fact that it is a special eye, not only just according to the author, but based off of the utilization, even with this regular Byakugan that we've seen within the manga. Now, this is the big thing where people are debating between Jogan or Byakugan, but it's still on its own a big thing to note that the veins have never been showcased in Boruto's usage whenever he's using this right eye. Now we understand when natural Otsutsuki, Momoshiki, Ishiki, natural Hyuga, Hanabi, Hinata are using the Byakugan, whenever they are actively trying to use any power or usage of the Byakugan, the veins pop up on the side of their heads. Yet every time we see Boroshiki use his Byakugan, turn on his Byakugan, and now we see for the first time Boruto actively using the Byakugan to see through walls, there are no veins popping up. But the kanji still shows that it's still being labeled as a Byakugan. So I believe Boruto is kind of teetering in like a limbo space, like a middle gray area between a natural Byakugan and whatever else you want to call it. Because regardless whether you like it or not, his eye is still doing things that normal other Byakugans just simply don't do. So I'm going to ride with the notion under the guise of special eye, essentially, not just going saying this is a Jogan, understanding this is a Byakugan that he's been using, however, a Byakugan with peculiar features upon his usage with the eye. Now, why would Momoshiki call Boruto having inherited Otsutsuki powers? We understand the anime has been shoving it in our faces in terms of, oh, he has the Jogan, he has a natural born eye of the Otsutsuki. We got the name dumped from Urashiki himself. This eye has so much lore and information dumped behind it within the novels of the Boruto story, so we understand its importance and its significance, right? Now, regardless of whatever you want to call Boruto's eye, we have implications both in story and confirmation out story that Boruto's eye is considered special. Now, a special eye is not, whether you want to say you like it or not, is not gonna be considered a Byakugan, because we have seen endless Byakugans. There's a whole bunch of Byakugan wielders within the village itself, and upon specialty amongst Byakugans, I would say the most special one we've seen would be Himawari's with her locked on state, and the only reason it's considered special is because her entire personality changes. So aside from usage of the actual eye, there would be nothing considered special about that. So for our main character being in Boruto, him having a special eye means there's going to be something big and major importance dwelling around his eye. And my best bet would have to be the Jogan in that case. Now, as of right now, is he going under some evolution stage with his eye? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to implement the specialty surrounding his eye in the manga. I do believe it's going to play major importance in quelling down this guy, Momoshiki, though. So stay tuned for more information and a video in that regard later on. However, I will say this with confidence, right? Because we understand the kanji used for Boruto's eye is different from chapter 1 and every other time we've seen him activate his Byakugan and every other Byakugan in the series, we know the anime took even more creative liberty differences in coloring the main scopal of the eye black and having the pupil be this light blue pure thing, right? So the Byakugan itself already evolves and turns into the Tenzigan, and we understand the process of that matter because of the history of Naruto the Last, when Naruto, Hinata, and all of them had to go to the moon to save Hanabi. So as far as Byakugan and Tenzigan relations go, right, we theorized about that when Boruto first started, when we understood how the events of the Last played out. But we know with the confirmation of the Jogan from creators, from this guy Urashiki himself, it's more than likely what Boruto's quote-unquote special eye will be dubbed within the manga, and its usage pays homage to the idea of the eye being special. So having some type of leverage or gaining some type of significance or ability in Boruto's case, right? So taking into account what we've seen from Boruto right now, if we assume we're just gonna stick with the Byakugan being his special eye, quote unquote, we have no more for sure power surges ways, power up ways for this guy Boruto to get stronger, where we understand we're still in question as to whether a full limited Kawaki is completely like to his max. Did he surpass the limits? How much did Amato add to his power once we realized that he needed more, or he felt he needed just a bit more in order to take down Jura? We see the difference. However, these matches are against a weaker Shinju, so we can't say for sure, at least for me personally, that Kawaki is 100% stronger than when he fought this guy Jura for the second time. So I can say, for instance, right, with this guy Boruto in the amp we see with this Karma Seal and his Byakugan, just having that be his endgame form, his endgame power-ups, essentially wouldn't be enough. We know the difference in power will most likely be there when this guy Momoshiki takes over. So aside from just taking that route where we can say Boruto can output the same amount of energy and chakra and power as this guy Momoshiki, whenever Momoshiki is taking over his body, that can be a nice power-up in its sense, yes, but it's more so, I think, especially with considering how much stronger Boruto has gotten, and now that he can use his karma on top of it, it's more so just the difference in fighting styles and preferences when it comes to now between both Boruto and Momoshiki. So I'm really excited to see the dynamics being output and relayed between the two. However, the usage of this eye is going to be the main difference, going to be the main factor, going to be the last thing that pushes Boruto over the edge, right? So that's why I'm really excited for the anime to come back whenever it comes back. I know I don't talk about the anime a lot, but a lot of these anime discussions or the return of the for sure part 2 Boruto anime will quell a lot of these discussions. However, in terms of us having been confirmed and me agreeing with the fact that we see a Byakugan in chapter 29 does not tell me that Boruto's special eye is being written out in the fact that Boruto will have a Byakugan going forward for the rest of the story, and that being his power-up, because honestly, truly and speaking, as far as usage and adaptability, what more could the Byakugan do for him aside from being able to see through buildings like we've seen earlier today, which is like just hype and cool horror beast moments, right? When we talking about taking down this guy Jura, we need some more in the tank. We need some more abilities. We need more hacks, because it looks to me they're not going to be able to simply be stronger than this guy Jura. Speed might be another thing. This guy is the second coming of Minato, right, in its truest sense. So I'm looking forward to that, but definitely the revelation around this eye is going to be big, and its addition to Boruto's arsenal is going to be even bigger. So let me know how y'all feel about it. What do y'all personally believe it is right now? Do y'all think, like with me, it's kind of in a limbo mode? It's a Byakugan, however, its usage is different than other regular Byakugan you would normally see. Do you think it's a Jogan flat out right now, or do y'all believe it will eventually evolve into one or the two, or we might just get a random Jogan, or it's just simply a Byakugan through and through? So let me know your thoughts. Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, regardless, is still gas. I'm looking forward to Boruto's special eye and its debut within the manga. So let me know how y'all feel and what are your thoughts. Comment below. It's your boy Black Child. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Black Child out. Yes, sir. Ski.